Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday edition of the NBA Breakdown. I'm your host, Cale Hammond. With me, as always, is my pal, Reider Hunt, a.k.a. The Gerbs. And I'm excited to be here on Sunday. I'm sure you are as well, Reider. No one else is going to be here on Sunday. That's how much we care about you. Trying to get your info, get your intel, get you the best lineups possible on a Sunday. So we hope you appreciate it. We're definitely working hard for you. 8-game slate. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Reider, you want to kick us off with this first game? Let's just get right into it. Don't waste anyone's time.
Clippers at Chicago. Chicago is a 2-point favorite. A 199 over-under here. Powell's expected to be back. Taj Gibson is doubtful, and obviously Rose is out, which is very sad. Aaron Brooks, his price has increased to 4,500.
He's getting up there.
22.5 fantasy points today to reach value, and against CP3, I think we can do better. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think that Brooks is getting a little too high, especially for this game. Going up against a guy like Chris Paul, you never want to pick a point guard when they're being defended by Chris Paul. Chris Paul, I would argue, defends the point guard slot better than anyone in the league. Him and Conley. Conley's a close second, but I think the way Chris Paul can just pester you as a defender would really, really be unnerving. And especially a little itty-bitty guy like Aaron Brooks. Yeah, he can score. He can create his own shots sometimes. But, I mean, it's not a good matchup for Aaron Brooks against Chris Paul. What else are you thinking from that game, Gerbs?
I really do like Chris Paul, though.
Absolutely.
In the games that Blake Griffin's been out, he's been incredible, averaging 48 fantasy points, and including one 25-point performance, which was really just because it was a blowout.
Yep.
By 37 after the third quarter. I think he's a really good play today against Aaron Brooks, and Aaron Brooks is not a plus defender, as we all know.
No.
He and DeAndre Jordan is averaging 23.5 rebounds in his last 7 games, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah,
and 40% of the team's total rebounds.
Which is incredible. That's a remarkable statistic. Even when he's that takes into account when he's on the bench too. So even when honestly, he's not even on the bench that much because his team they need him. He can't be on the bench very often if they want to have a good chance of winning the game. Another guy, Jimmy Butler. His price is got back up there pretty quickly. He's up $500. He's at $8,400 today. He should definitely have a solid game against the Clippers. They're not the best defense for perimeter scorers, and Jimmy Butler is a solid perimeter scorer. I just don't think Jimmy Butler is the right play today. He's that $500 increase in price tag. It didn't sit well with me paying up $500 extra because he was already fairly well priced for his recent performance, and I'm just not sure that he's going to be giving us another 45-point fantasy performance. So I'll have a little bit of Jimmy Butler today, but not as much as you would normally expect going up against that Clippers perimeter defense. Let's move on. Let's go on over to Houston. Cleveland versus Houston. We got -2 favorite for Cleveland, 204 over under. Kyrie Irving is ruled out for today, so obviously LeBron is an even better play. I think LeBron, I've got a feeling today, and I think that feeling is to target LeBron James. On national television, going up against who I believe the majority of people are advocating James Harden for the NBA MVP. I think that LeBron James might come out there and show us all who the real MVP of the league is, because obviously Harden's probably the favorite to win the award right now. But anyone who really knows basketball, LeBron James is still the best player in the league. You can't really argue against that. What he's done the last several years, making the finals 4 years in a row, winning 2 championships. You really can't argue against LeBron James being the best player. And I think LeBron is going to come out and he's going to show everyone that he's still a little bit better than James Harden. I think he's going to have a little chip on his shoulder for today's game, which is why I would like to target LeBron, especially with Kyrie Irving out. James Harden's incredible. That's pretty much all that needs to be said. James Harden, look for him to have a solid game on national television again. Looking for him and LeBron James to just sort of get in a little pissing contest, if you will. That would be something to see, especially if you have both those guys in your lineups. Terrence Jones playing over 30 minutes last multiple games. Started all those games 41 fantasy points, 35 fantasy points, 43 fantasy points, 6,800 today, and Cleveland is not the best defender of the power forward slot. Terrence Jones has a clear athletic advantage over Kevin Love or whoever else they're going to be sending to defend him at the power forward slot. I think Terrence Jones, look for him to have a solid game. Anything else from this one you're seeing, Reader?
No, I think you covered it well.
All right, perfect. Moving on to Sacramento. Portland versus Sacramento, -8 for the Trailblazers, 202 over-under. Let's start with the Kings side of the basketball. Obviously, you've got one of the value plays of the day, Ray McCollum, 3,400, 20 real-life points last game. He's hitting his value threshold pretty consistently over the last week or so. So I think he's definitely worth that cheap glue guard position in your lineup, trying to make things fit. If you already have a great lineup and you've got 3,500, 3,400 left to spend, Ray McCollum's your guy. Rudy Gay with no Cousins, he's always worth a contest look without DeMarcus. Guys to replace DeMarcus Cousins, to be honest with you, I really don't know who to recommend. Jason Thompson had 31 fantasy points in his last game when Boogie was out. But yikes, you know as well as I do, it's tough to pick what these big guys are going to do with no Cousins because he's just such a staple, such a centerpiece and focal point in that offense. And these guys really don't have the talent level, nor the ability, nor the confidence, I'm sure, to step in there and really give consistent, solid production. Jason Thompson's probably your best bet. For the Portland side of the ball, LaMarcus Aldridge, phenomenal game against Oklahoma City last time. He's definitely worth a look. A guy I'm actively going to target today, actively pursue, is Wesley Matthews. Just because Sacramento Kings are so horrific defending the shooting guard slot. If you look at the Basque Monster last 30 days, position versus defense ease rankings, Sacramento's dead last in the power rankings. So Wesley Matthews, matchup-wise, has a very, very tasty matchup. Damian Lillard, not quite the production you'd like to see out of him the last few weeks. Let's wait a little while for him to get back on track. His price is going to start going up once he does get back on track because, mark my word, he will get back on track and start giving us some 45, 50-point fantasy performances consistently yet again. Anything else you're seeing from this one, Gerbs?
Yeah, Wesley Matthews I really like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on him today?
Yeah. Like I said, that matchup's there. It's just a great matchup for him. He's 5,500, worth a look in multiple lineups today for sure. Let's move on to Golden State versus Boston. So for this game, Golden State 9-point favorite, almost a 217-point over/under. So you definitely want to have a decent amount of exposure to this game. And on the Boston side of the basketball, I think that the play is certainly Isaiah Thomas. He's going to be in most of my lineups. We could try and figure out where else to squeeze the value out of this Boston Celtics team because with an over-under like this, clearly the points are going to be coming from multiple places. But I think just trying to play it as safe as possible, Isaiah Thomas is going to be receiving the bulk of those fantasy points for the Boston Celtics. So look to target him. Reader, what do you think about Isaiah Thomas today?
Yeah, he's just been crushing his value lately. He's had 41, 36, 34, and 35 fantasy points in his last 4 games. And he hadn't started in any of those, but he's still putting up the solid production you need. So you'll take that any day for 5,800.
You absolutely will. For 6,000, he's an even 6K today, yeah. I believe. Golden State, they're always pretty tough to pick. Steph Curry, Reader, what was that stat you had on Steph Curry earlier?
In his last 17 games, he's only gone over 60 once. I know 60 is a tough task for anybody, but for a guy that's sometimes reaching 11K, that's just not exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's only hit his value of 5 times his price only 4 times in his last 17 games.
Yeah, that's the stat I was looking for. So 4 out of his last 17, he's been undervalued. And obviously, if Steph Curry, he's very consistently going to get you in the mid-40s. Mid-40s isn't going to kill you by any means. But when you have guys like Russell Westbrook and James Harden doing what they've been doing the last couple of weeks, looking at Steph Curry's numbers, it's sad. It's sad. That's how good the NBA is right now. I'm a little disappointed looking at Steph Curry's numbers compared to what James Harden and Russell Westbrook are doing on a nightly basis because it's just phenomenal what's happening in the league right now. It's such a great time to be an NBA fan. Such a great time to play DFS. Sorry I got on a little rant. Let's get back to the Golden State Warriors. Draymond Green is finally playable again. His price finally dropped below 7K. He's 6,800 today. That is a very, very fair price tag for a guy that's going to just work his butt off the entire game. Blocks, steals, three-pointers, everything. He contributes all across the board all the time. His price got a little too high back in a couple months ago, and it finally dropped. His production finally fell enough to where people stopped picking him. So he's a good play. Draymond Green is probably the number one guy I would target for the Golden State Warriors today, especially at that price tag under 7K. A guy I would like to target for the Warriors is Andrew Bogut, just because with this Boston front court, I feel like he would have such a tasty, delicious matchup. He would have such a fantastic game. But we just don't know if he's going to be a safe play because the minutes are obviously limited. We don't know if he's even going to play half the time. And when he does, he's just clearly keeping a lot of gas in the tank for this Western Conference playoff stretch. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, but that's what I'm thinking. I don't think Andrew Bogut is. I would love to play him today, but it's just not wise.
It's try and avoid him for sure.
It's unwise, man. It's frustrating because what a great matchup.
The last 2 games, he's only had 19 and 22 fantasy points.
Yeah, so and probably about the same amount of. Sure. Yeah, probably 19 and 22 fantasy points. Probably about the same amount of minutes anyway. I mean, he's always a great FPM fantasy points per minute candidate, but yeah, just not a safe play at the moment. Let's move to Philadelphia versus Indiana. This was 11.5 spread for the Pacers, 190 over under. I could talk about this one. I try and find where to squeak and eke out your value here. Reader, I don't know what I'm seeing in this one. Is there anything particular that you're trying to pick from this game?
I like calling the Indiana slow pacers because they usually have about the lowest over-under of the night. And, again, it's tough tonight. You could go with Isaiah Cannon, the cannonball. But he had a pretty bad performance his last game. So I'm not really on him.
Yeah, the cannonballs, he's a fine filler, cheap filler for your lineups today. As far as the Pacers go, here's what I'm thinking about the Pacers. Philadelphia, especially that they lost Michael Carter-Williams, they're not going to win this basketball game. They're probably not going to keep it that close. And Indiana is going to be able to score. They're going to be able to score pretty easily this game, and I just feel like it's going to be coming. It's going to be coming from all over the place. George Hill obviously had a triple-double, 50-something fantasy points in his last game. Doubt that's going to happen again. Philadelphia actually defends the point guard somewhat respectably as of late. C.J. Miles, last time he played Philadelphia, 27 fantasy points. David West obviously is another guy. Power forwards against Philadelphia always do fantastically well. But I'm just not going to target him from this game. I really don't see the payoff there for this game. I don't know if you agree with me, but
yeah, I think George Hill is an interesting contest play just because any guy that hits 55 fantasy points and costs $5,800 is worth a look.
Right, sure. That'll win you some cash. So he's definitely worth a play. But let's move on from that one.
Yep.
Let's go to Charlotte versus Orlando. Charlotte is a 1.5 point favorite with a 187.5 over under. So once again, we're seeing a pretty low total here. So for this game, let's start with the Orlando side of the ball. Vucevic is probably the only guy that I would actively target today because I think Big Al defense is going to be just fine for Nick Vuce. Look for him to get a double-double as usual, especially on Sundays. Eastern Europeans play better on Sundays. It's a thing. Just look out for it. Valanciunas, Vucevic, they're all candidates. Look for Vucevic to have yet again another fine Sunday game. Nick Vuce around 55 fantasy points last time he played on Sundays. Not saying it's going to happen again, but it's just something to look out for. Other guys for the Magic, not sure who to pick. Tobias Harris, his production has been atrocious as of late, but his price tag's in the mid 6K range, and there's no question about his talent level. And he's played 37 minutes his last 2 games. So if Toby is getting upwards of 37, 38 minutes on a consistent basis, I'm not going to avoid him. I'm not going to actively target him today, but I don't think Toby's a player you should necessarily avoid, especially if you've got 6K and you're making multiple contest entries. Let's go to the Charlotte side of the ball. There's 2 guys you want to target in this one. Big Al Jefferson against Nick Vucevic, who cannot play defense, and Mo Williams, because this Orlando Magic team, under no circumstance, Will they try and win a game by playing defense? Not a thing. They're not going to up the defensive intensity whatsoever this game. Look for Mo Williams and Big Al Jefferson to run train on this Orlando Magic team. Anything else you're seeing from this one, Reader?
No, I mean, I would literally target. I think I'd target myself against Vucevic if I was playing center.
Yeah, Reader, 5'8", 129 pounds. 5'8.5", 129 pounds. He could probably get a double-double on Nick Vooch. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't get a double-double on Nick Vooch. Everyone gets a double-double on Nick Vooch.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're obviously being a little ridiculous. Now let's go to the next game. What do we got on tap, Reader? What's the next game?
We got Oklahoma City at the Los Angeles Lakers. Oklahoma City's a 3.5-point favorite, 202 over/under. It's really sad that Westbrook went down on this because what he could have done against the Lakers tonight with this season on would have just been just unspeakable things to whoever it is guarding him. So
yeah, goodness gracious.
I really am disappointed about that. And for Oklahoma City, that's just they just had such bad luck this year. And I don't know how many games he and Durant have played together. I tried to look it up. I couldn't find it, but it can't be more than a dozen.
Yeah, a dozen, 13, 14, 15.
Yeah, it just seems one after another, and hopefully they can get back and play together because I think it would be a lot of fun if they got it going.
Yeah, it absolutely would be a lot of fun. Man, can you believe that freaking crater in Russell Westbrook's face?
He needs one of those Popsodent as seen on TV for your car.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Just suction the little cup on your cheekbone and twist the little knob, and it'll just suck the bones right back into place. No surgery, no mask necessary. Man, that's just bad luck. The Thunder are just constantly being bit by the injury bug. Partly that's a result of their ridiculous offseason / in-season trades and acquisitions. That's a subject for another time. Also, their coach is bad. Sorry, it's just we're both from Oklahoma. We're both from Oklahoma, and it's tough. It's tough seeing the talent level, having the two of the best 5 players in the NBA, and not having anything to necessarily show for it. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But that being said, without Russell Westbrook and without Durant, there's a lot of value for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Serge Ibaka, 7,800. He's going to hit value. I mean, if he doesn't, that's pathetic if he doesn't hit value because he's the only certified superstar that the Thunder have. I'm not going to knock Serge Ibaka. He's one of the best defensive players in the league as far as a blocks perspective. So look to target Serge Ibaka in this one. He's been playing well as of late, especially, so that's good. Dion Waiters, another tremendous value play. 3,900 at the shooting guard slot. Look for Dion Waiters to shoot 15 times today. Anytime you got a guy under 4K shooting 15 times, you're going to want to have a decent amount of exposure to him. Anything else you're seeing from this one, Reader?
Yeah, I think the play of the day is
absolutely
DJ Augustine. Oklahoma City right now has 1 point guard on their roster today. They
should call back Ish Smith.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do
Good
for real though.
God.
When Augustine needs a break, because I really don't know what they'll do with 1 point guard. So.
Yep. DJ Augustine.
Yeah, with that said, I think he's
certified.
Tremendous play.
DJ Augustine, what is he? 4,100.
He's 4,100.
DJ Augustine, certified play o' the day. So
especially against the Lakers.
Oh, especially against the Lakers, it could not be any more beautiful. If he's not 50% owned in these GPPs, 40% maybe, I guess, because people diversify a lot in these. If he's not around 40% owned, I will be absolutely appalled.
I'll be shocked if he's not 90% owned in cash.
Yeah, and once again, as far as targeting the Lakers go, today would be a day to target them with a Durant-less / Westbrook-less Oklahoma City Thunder. Look for them to get a little confused on the defensive ends at times. I think the Lakers are gonna keep this close, and Vegas thinks that as well. So anytime you see the Lakers with a close spread, high over under like this, don't be afraid to target them. That being said, I really don't know who the best players to target are for this Lakers team. As far as a consistency / solidity standpoint goes, I think Wayne Ellington might be your best bet. But to be honest with you, they're tough to pick. They're a sorry basketball team. They don't have a good offense. Their defense is atrocious. They have so many players on their team. Their rotations are tough. I mean, you could pick Jeremy Lin, you could pick Jordan Clarkson. It's just disgusting, and I don't know what to do when picking the Lakers.
Yeah, it's just a carousel over there. I mean, who's going to get the rebounds?
Right.
Ed Davis, Jordan Hill.
Who knows?
Boozer, the Robert Sacre, the Sacre mom.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen with that one? So, yeah, that being said, who knows? Who cares? Lakers, it's tough to pick them. Let's move on. Moving on to the last game of the day, we've got New Orleans versus... Who do they play?
Redo.
Denver.
Oh, no. Don't do a redo. I don't know who Denver is. Are they even a basketball team? Goodness gracious. No wonder I forgot who they were playing. Yeah, not going to target any Nuggets. Let's start with them. Let's move on quickly to the New Orleans side of the basketball because I'm not going to target any Nuggets.
Easiest team to do.
Yeah, not going to target any Nuggets. I just think it's a bad idea. Don't do it. Yeah, Ajinka. I like Ajinka in this one. Denver allows the most blocks per game. Ajinka is a giant human being. Look for Ajinka, even in his limited minutes, to get around a double-double. Definitely going to get some blocks in there. I'd be shocked if Ajinka doesn't get some blocks because Denver truly is the worst team in the league in allowing blocks. And I said it on the last podcast when I told you guys to target Rudy Gobert. I promised you 5 blocks out of Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert came in with 6 blocks, so thank you, Mr. Gobes, for that block performance. Ajinka's a good play. Ashik is a solid play. Eric Gordon, he's going to win someone some money pretty soon. He's a firecracker. He can go off at a moment's notice. So definitely expose yourself to Eric Gordon if you're diversifying in these contest lineups. Tyreek Evans, Mr. Point God. Tyreek Evans is a solid play in this one. Reader, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't mind Tyreek Evans at all tonight. He is on the road, which he shows significant splits. He's so much better at home than he is on the road, but he's had some good performances on the road also.
Yeah.
I say beware of the Ajinka foul machine. His fouls in the last games, 5-5-5-0-4. I mean, his whole career, he just gets in foul trouble so often. I think I've been burned by it before.
Yeah, it's definitely scary. Guy getting into foul trouble like that. So now we're done with the games. Let's move on to our recommended lineup. Here's what I've got on tap for you guys today. This is my lineup that I'm recommending. Obviously tentative, obviously subject to change, but at the point guard slot, DJ Augustine, play of the day. Nothing more to be said there. Dion Waiters, another guy, 3,900. DJ Augustine and Dion Waiters combined, look for them to probably get around 30 shots today. And for under 10K for 30 shots, you'll take that every single day of the week. LeBron James, you don't have to trust me on this one. I've got a feeling about LeBron James. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong on LeBron James, obviously it's going to cost me, but I don't think I'm going to be wrong. I think LeBron James is going to have a tremendous game. Power forward slot, Mr. T. Jones. He's playing tremendous basketball. Ajinka at the center slot. This is a risky play, sort of a GPP contest play. If you're looking for a cash game center, plug Al Jefferson into your lineups, or if you're willing to spend up on DeAndre Jordan, get him into your lineups. But Ajinka's my center for the day. That foul trouble's scary, but I think this is definitely, this lineup has the most upside of anything I could probably come up with. Mo Williams going against Orlando. He had what did he have, 50 points the other day, 50 fantasy points?
Yes.
Yep. And Orlando is atrocious, god-awful on defense. So Mo Williams, 6K, he will get me 30 fantasy points, you best believe. Serge Ibaka at the power forward. He's pretty much the only guy for the Thunder that, I mean, he's the only go-to guy right now for the Thunder. That's what I mean. He's their crunch time guy right now. And against this Lakers and the close spread, Vegas think it's going to be a close game. I like Serge Ibaka to get his shots up, get his blocks, get his boards. He's going to be on the court for a heck of a long time today, I promise you that. And Mr. Isaiah Thomas, Mr. Swag. Isaiah Thomas, what a fantastic player to watch this guy is. And at 6K, going up against the Golden State Warriors, fast-paced team. Going to be some high-quality basketball, high-quality ball handling with the point guards, dueling point guards. I think this is a good lineup today. I think it's going to be good. Obviously, subject to change. If you feel like tweaking anything, absolutely go for it. But this is what I've got for you. That's about it. Reader, you got anything else to add?
No, I think you covered it.
All right. Thank you guys very much. Thanks for sticking with us on this Sunday. Excuse
Screw you guys, I'm going home.